The seal on the floor showed my buddy Joey just as I remembered him, when I left him in charge all those years ago.
Hey, buddy, watch where you're standing!
What's your problem?
Your face, for one!
Excuse me.
Well, if you hadn't been staring at the floor like a moron, you'd have seen me.
I didn't catch your name.
I'm your mama!
What? Do you live here?
Do I look like I live here?
I'm not from around here. Maybe everyone here looks like you.
Yeah? And what do I look like?
Trouble.
Keep walking.
Do you know where I can find Joey?
Oh, I don't know. Weirdo. They say he walked into the gap, or sailed across the sea. Either way, he abandoned us all in this place.
You don't like it here?
Needs more color, wouldn't you agree?
Do you know a guy called Graham Grundy?
Nope. Sounds like a moron.
In that case, let me introduce myself. Graham Grundy.
Doesn't surprise me.
Seriously, I'd like to know your name.
Seriously, go find a friend.
What happened after Joey left?
Well, duh. Council runs the city now.
I'll leave you to whatever it was you were doing.
Aw, really? I'll miss you.
Yes, I'm very busy.
Hey, dirtbag! What's your favorite color?
Huh?
You heard me. What's your favorite color?
Blue?
Lame.
But you're wearing... Never mind.
Later, man purse.
Later, backpack.
Ha! You got nothing.
Clearly not everyone in Union City was quite as courteous as they were happy.
Commencing spray. Please stand back.
Wait, I know that U-chip. Oh my, is it really? Yes, it is. Master Graham, you have returned. How wonderful.
Oh, good day, huh?
I shall inform Madam and her guest that you have arrived. She will be so pleased.
No, that won't be necessary.
She will be overjoyed that you have finally returned to the bosom of the family. My apologies for the interruption, Madam Songbird. It's Master Graham.
What about him, Chipworth?
It appears he has arrived home, Madam.
He has, but that's... wonderful! Oh, thank Joey! My dear husband is back!
Ah, I was hoping to meet you, Mr. Grundy. Mentor Alonso, Ministry of Well-Being. I was just here to investigate some irregularities.
I'm sure my Graham needs a few moments to freshen up. Why don't I show you my kudos records? I don't know who you are, but right now we're both in a lot of trouble. So for both our sakes, you'd better convince the mentor that you're Graham.
Yes, of course.
I'll stall him. Just don't come through that door until you know enough about Graham to pass yourself off as him.
Don't worry. You can count on me. I wasn't sure what I'd walked into, But if I was to convince anyone I was Graham, I needed to find out more about him. His job, his family, his state of mind. The mentor could ask me about anything. Information about Graham was scattered all over the place. All I had to do was look around. A shelf full of sports gear and awards from years gone by. That looked like Graham and his wife on their wedding day. They looked blissfully in love. Rhythmic gymnastics, first place. Amethyst or purple glass? Either way, it looked expensive. Fairy tales, courtly romances, and art books. At least one person in the city appreciated a nice cup of coffee. Although I doubted Union City Blend contained even an ounce of actual coffee beans. Union City Red. I suspected it was more fruit juice than wine. Personally, I preferred an open fire for cooking. Definitely an improvement on the food dispensers they used to have here. Something told me the fire was not authentic. The trees in the gap weren't as pretty, but at least they were real. Hello there. Chipworth, wasn't it?
Master Graham, may I say, sir is looking even more fabulous than usual today.
Why, thank you.
Has Master Graham lost weight?
Maybe. Does Master Graham look like he's lost weight?
Oh, yes, sir. And it would appear sir has gained some height as well. Bravo.
Tell me, Chipworth, who was that woman just now?
But that was sir's wife, Madame Songbird.
Yes, of course. My wife.
Is sir quite feeling himself?
It's fine. I've just been having a difficult few days.
How serendipitous that the well-being mentor is here then, is it not, sir?
This mentor, what will he ask me about?
The Ministry of Well-being is always concerned, sir, with a citizen's well-being.
Well-being?
That's right, sir. A citizen's health and happiness, their relationships and social life, all of the utmost importance to the Ministry. He might also inquire if sir needs any support in the workplace or similar.
Why exactly was I selected?
I believe sir's 2-week-long work, poll, and social hiatus may have raised some concerns. Just be yourself, sir, and you will be fine.
Of course, because I am Graham Grundy. Chipworth, tell me everything you know about me.
Request respectfully declined, sir.
But aren't you my butler droid?
Yes, sir. I have been sir's butler for a very long time.
Then why can't you tell me?
Standing orders, sir.
Whose orders?
You... nice try, sir. Almost had me.
Graham had made sure his droid wouldn't talk. I had to do my own investigating. I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you open the windows, Chipworth?
I am sorry, sir, but the window controls are in Madame Songbird's room. I would not wish to disturb the mentor while he is with her. Her meeting is apparently of the highest priority.
I see. We shouldn't disturb her then.
Indeed, sir. However, if the air temperature is a concern, might sir consider dispensing with his coat?
It is rather warm.
And pungent, sir?
Tell me about that woman.
A woman? Can Sir possibly be referring to his good lady wife?
Humor me. For instance, her name would be...
Madam Songbird. Clearly, Sir is not feeling quite himself today. Sir might recall he even forgot dear old Chipworth's name earlier.
Who?
Me, sir.
So, what do you do, Chipworth?
Whatever Sir desires.
Can you juggle?
Sadly, sir, one's capabilities are restricted to the minutiae of domestic service.
Shame.
We are what we are, sir.
At least as far as anyone else needs to know. Who was that guy in here when I arrived?
Is Sir referring to the gentleman currently probing your wife in the bedroom?
I guess I am.
That would be the Honorable Mentor Alonso, Senior Officer at the Ministry of Well-Being. I believe that he would like to see you next.
He would?
Mentor Alonso indicated that there were one or two anomalies in Master Graham's records. Public voting, kudos levels, employment, whereabouts within the city.
Just some minor things, then.
Consumption patterns, biosigns, indication of physical existence.
I think I get the picture.
But I'm sure there's a simple answer, Master Graham.
Tell me about the Mentor.
As a high-ranking official of the Ministry of Well-Being, he is here, I am sure, to evaluate the well-being of this household.
Well-being?
Health, social participation, work fulfillment, the usual, sir.
Ah, how are you, Chipworth?
I am well, sir. Thank you for inquiring.
Is this interview just going to be about me?
Correct. The Mentor is here to assess Sir's well-being.
And what happens if Sir answers the questions incorrectly?
Incorrectly, sir? Get them wrong? How could Sir possibly do that?
Perhaps I hit my head on something.
Ha! Very droll, sir, very droll. Might I suggest that Sir just be himself and it will all be fine?
I didn't have long. I needed to learn about Graham Grundy, and fast. Goodbye, Chipworth.
Have a very special day, sir. Excuse me, please.
Welcome back, Graham. Displaying your health chart now. It has been 2 weeks since your last checkup. You have lost weight. Congratulations. It has been noted that your height has increased, adjusting records accordingly. Scanning for medical implants. Error. Implant missing. Refreshing biomodification database. Please wait. Removing cardiac implant registration. Registering Schriebman port as new implant.
The scanner had detected my Schriebman port, which allowed me to interact with Link, the city's old network. Since then, I'd pretty much forgotten about it.
Adjusting your health rating from C to A+.
I was considerably fitter than Graham. That was good to know. What devices do I have installed?
You possess a U-chip personal data implant in the perlicue of your right hand. It is functioning correctly. Your cardiac regulator implants have been marked as removed. Please return them to your nearest medical waste facility. You possess a Schriebman local interneural connection port in the third cervical vertebrae. This hardware predates the Minos system and cannot be accessed at this terminal.
That's probably for the best.
You are welcome, Citizen Graham.
Do you have any advice for me?
A single can of Spankles contains more than your daily dietary requirements. Look for the clown. Drink Spankles. Keep a smile on your face.
Thanks.
You are welcome, Citizen Graham.
Do you have any further advice for me?
Are you aware that falls while walking are one of the biggest causes of injuries in Union City? Remember, no matter how short the journey, a monopod is always safer and more convenient.
Thanks.
You are welcome, Citizen Graham.
That's all for now.
Due to the alteration of your physical parameters, a new uniform has been ordered and will arrive at your home shortly. Keep a smile on your face.
I was a lot healthier than Graham. In fact, I'd say Graham was downright unhealthy. I had made some headway, but I still needed to know about Graham's work and social standing. Tempting, but I'd already had my monthly bath. So Graham was a cleaning supervisor? The logo on the uniform was quite distinct. I needed to find out who he worked for. If I slipped up, I'd be exposed right away. After 10 years in the Gap, I'd almost forgotten what a toilet looked like. There was a boot print. Curious. There was a boot print. Curious. Someone had stepped up onto the toilet seat. A box had been hidden outside the window. If I could get the window open, I'd be able to reach that box. I was hit by the acrid smell of chemicals. I wondered if Graham self-medicated. Giant scorpions in the sewers, real or fake? Unlikely. The tentacle monsters would have eaten them years ago. When I came to Union City 10 years ago, this was very much the case. These days, I wasn't so sure. Anti-Hobart propaganda. Some things never change. A printer? It was rare to see one of those. How to survive a war. Better just to not be around to see them. The calendar showed today as a holiday. Aspiration Day. I couldn't access Graham's messages. I added that to my list of things to look into. Espionage during the Hobart Wars. Nice to see the propaganda was still around. Among the drawings were photographs, land trains, and the city walls? You can tell a lot about a man from his shoes. In this case, that the man had no taste. Looked like these photos were taken by the city walls. A uniform like the one Graham's wife wore. It was cut for someone much larger. I needed to find out who he worked for. If I slipped up, I'd be exposed right away. A sword? The blade was cracked. I wondered if the people knew that Hobart agents had helped me save their city. The box was for a deluxe hollow plinth replacement lens. There was nothing inside. A cavalcade of cryptids. Someone believed in monster stories. The droids who stare at goats. A classic. Excuse me.
Hello, Master Graham.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you open the windows, Chipworth?
As soon as Mentor Alonso has gone, sir.
Right. I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you tidy up the apartment, Chipworth?
Very good, sir. Excuse me, please.
If I could get the window open, I'd be able to reach that box. The council was made up of 5 ministries. The council was made up of 5 ministries. Each ministry had their own logo and distinctive color scheme. From the color of his uniform, it was clear that Graham worked for the Ministry of Comfort. I knew quite a bit about Graham's work and health, but I figured I could learn more if I found his kudos records. I couldn't access Graham's messages. I added that to my list of things to look into. A chart showing that Graham's kudos score had recently dropped. I wondered what had caused such a sharp decline. I had learned all I was going to from Graham's apartment. I hoped it would be enough. A chart showing that Graham's kudos score had recently dropped. If I was going to convince the mentor, I had to be sure I knew enough about Graham. I couldn't keep them waiting any longer. From that point on, I had to be Graham Grundy, cleaning supervisor.
Darling, I thought you were going to freshen up.
I was, but I missed the sweet sound of your voice.
Oh, Graham, always the romantic. But please don't kiss me until you've showered.
Wouldn't dream of it. Besides, I couldn't let Alfonso here
Alonso?
monopolize my lovely wife for a moment longer.
In which case, shall we begin?
Of course. Shall we take a seat in the lounge? It was now or never.
So, Mr. Grundy.
Mentor Alonso, what would you like to know?
Ah, well, straight to the point. I like that. As I was explaining to your dear wife earlier, there have been some issues with your activity records of late.
Issues? What do you mean?
Mr. Grundy, a word to the wise. This will be much smoother if you leave the questions to me. Now, whilst your records load, remind me, in which ministry are you employed? Cat got your tongue?
Well-being.
Oh, darling, don't joke with the mentor. We all know you work at the Ministry of Comfort.
Now, Mr. Grundy, let's be serious now. Here we go. Graham Grundy, 42, cleaning supervisor with the Ministry of Comfort. Cleaning supervisors require Class C exertive activity certification. I trust that your health rating is sufficient.
I did drop down a bit, but I'm back to Class A+ now.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. So, with that in mind, I will mark you as fit for work, barring any other issues. Now, obviously, your kudos level will have fluctuated due to your absence. You're a C+ right now. I note you used to be much higher.
It isn't easy to keep up an A rating.
A? I had you as B.
Indeed, but it is Aspiration Day.
Yes, of course. Clever. Well, that is all I need to check off. But I'd be remiss if I didn't offer you all the extra support and guidance that you need.
Mentor?
When someone goes off-grid, there's usually some underlying trouble. And as a mentor, I like to think of myself as a bit of a troubleshooter.
Of course. I appreciate the concern.
So, let's get to the bottom of all this confusion. Dig a bit deeper, eh?
Deeper? Yes, right. By all means, Mentor.
Tell me about your workplace. I trust there are no issues.
The land train facility? It's a fine place to work.
I'm sure it is. Department of Land Trains and Extra City Commerce. Wonderful.
Oh, yes, couldn't be happier.
We are, of course, very grateful for your service, Mr. Grundy. But there we come to the crux of the matter. Your absence. 15 days is a long time. This is, of course, why my ministry has become involved in your case. We have been concerned for your well-being.
I'm fine. Better than ever, in fact.
Excellent. Now, speaking of your health, I note you had some surgery last year. Tell me about your implants. Are they working effectively?
You mean my heart regulators? Nothing to worry about. As you can see, the beat goes on.
Yes. Well, I must say you're in remarkable shape considering your medical history. Of course, your mental well-being is just as important to us. How are you getting on with your rather peculiar hobbies?
You mean my photography?
I do, yes.
You can't beat the feeling of an old-time film camera.
I can imagine. You have an eye for composition. Although I don't understand your interest in using such archaic technology. Choosing to fiddle with knobs rather than availing of ministry-recommended filters, stabilization, automatic archive, and data retrieval, all courtesy of Minos. If we can't see what you create, how can we share in your interests?
What can I say? I like a challenge.
I'm sure you do, Graham. Ah, well. I have a busy day of appointments, so sadly we must conclude our little chat there.
It's been a pleasure, Mentor.
Hasn't it? So with that in mind, perhaps you can tell me where you've been for the last 2 weeks.
What? Right. Yes, where have I been the last 2 weeks?
Well?
Okay, so the last 2 weeks, I was working at the land train facility, of course. Cleaning. I'm a cleaning supervisor. And while I was cleaning, I must have bumped my head. The next thing I knew, I was in the middle of nowhere, still on the train. 2 weeks later, the train returned to the city. Cleaner than it's ever been, I might add.
My poor darling! How awful! What a dreadful thing to happen!
I believe I have all the answers I need from you.
Well, that's a relief.
I'm sure it is, Mr. Grundy.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Just a teeny tiny thing before I go. There appears to be 1 or 2 anomalous results here.
Anomalous? That doesn't sound good.
It may be nothing. But here's the thing. I get strange readings when I scan your U-chip. Any idea why?
Maybe it got damaged when I fell.
Ah, yes. Of course. That's probably it. You see, the only other time I've seen anything like this is when a U-chip has been tampered with. No one would have done that now, would they?
Tampered with? I didn't even know that you could do that.
Graham's a supervisor, not a subversive mentor.
Yes, a supervisor, not a subversive.
Damaged when he fell. Request analysis. There. Perfect. I have everything I need.
Great. Chipbot will show you out.
Chipworth, darling?
Just my little joke. Chipworth.
Good day, Mr. and Mrs. Grundy.
I don't know who you are or what you've done with Graham, but I think we got away with that.
I hope so. I don't think that we would get away with it a second time.
Nor do I.
If there is anything wrong with Graham's U-chip, you would better sort it out sharpish, before Alonso's analysis comes back.
Who even are you? Where's Graham? Are you that contact he kept ranting about?
Whatever Graham had been up to, it had gotten him killed. I had to come clean with his wife. There's no easy way to say this, but I'm afraid Graham is dead.
What? How? Where?
I found him. In the Gap.
The Gap? What was the idiot doing in the Gap? Was that where he was always sneaking off to? Ugh!
A child, Milo, was abducted from a village out there and brought into Union City. And I think Graham was somehow connected.
Sure, and pigs fly. Listen, stranger. I'm sure you can understand this has been a rather harrowing day. This is all too much for me right now.
Tell me about it.
So, I'm gonna do some damage control on social media. In the meantime, I guess that officially it is your home, so you can stay, but this is my bedroom, and that one is yours. No cute ideas.
Understood. Songbird seemed rattled by the news. Not surprising. But whoever this contact of Graham's was, I suspected they were the key to finding Milo.
Excuse me, please.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, sir.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you open the windows, Chipworth?
Very good, sir.
The mentor, Alonzo, seemed to be arguing with someone. There was something taped to the air conditioner. The gang had a ferocious beak. I was lucky not to lose a finger. The gang had a ferocious beak. I was lucky not to lose a finger. Here you go. Whatever was in the box, Graham had clearly not wanted anyone to find it. Inside was a small glass lens. It had deep cuts scored across its surface. But that wasn't all. Tucked beneath was a photograph. A picture of a stalker. A child's face pressed against the window. Suddenly I realized that it wasn't just Milo. It was clear that multiple children were being taken into the city, and somehow Graham was connected to it. The mentor, Alonzo, seemed to be arguing with someone. Excuse me.
Hello, Master Graham.
My wife mentioned I had a contact. Any idea who that could be?
Perhaps you might ask her, sir. I fear I am not able to elaborate any further.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you open the windows, Chipworth?
Very good, sir.
The image being displayed on the holoplinth had changed. The device could display a custom hologram. It was probably controlled from a terminal nearby. A collection of toy animals were lined up in little baskets. One was missing. The shelf was loaded with books on management, business theory, and military strategy. I didn't think Songbird would appreciate me rummaging through her things. Jasmine. Songbird, I'm sorry.
For what?
That I made a mess of the interview.
It was already messed up before you got there.
What do you mean?
Look, stranger. You told me your secret, so I'll tell you mine. Last few years, Graham gave up trying to be anything other than the dullard he really was. If it weren't for the kudos for being married, I'd have dumped him months ago. You're new here, so a word of advice? You want to win in Union City? Learn the rules and play the game.
My name's Foster, by the way. Robert Foster.
Songbird.
Is there anything more you can tell me about Graham?
Not much. He was a loner whose only friends were idiots like him.
Who's this contact you mentioned?
Bad news, as far as my kudos level is concerned.
What do you mean?
Graham was always rambling on about this hacker friend of his. Had a daft name. Leet, I think.
Are you a collector?
What?
Toys. You have quite the collection.
Oh, yes. The whole set of cuddly kiddies. Even the limited edition Mama Bear from 5 years back. Well, I did have the whole set, at least.
Did something happen?
Bartleby went missing, that's what. I asked Graham about it and he denied all knowledge. Then, when I tried to use the Mama Bear tracker to find dear Bartleby, he threw her across the room.
Clumsy.
Clumsy? Those bears were my engagement gift. He hid Bartleby just to spite me.
Graham had taken Songbird's toy Bilby, but I couldn't figure out what he'd have wanted with it. Wherever he'd gone, Graham clearly didn't want to be tracked. What's a Mama Bear tracker?
What do you think? It tracks her babies.
Her babies?
The cuddly kiddies. Most toys in Union City are tracker-enabled. Lost toys mean screaming babies, unless you got a tracker.
Mind if I have a look at the tracker?
Go ahead, though the screen is broken. Squeeze the left ear to turn it on.
Tell me more about Graham.
Why do you want to know?
I think he might have been involved in something.
What do you mean?
I came to Union City from the Gap because I was investigating a mysterious...
Oh, for Joey's sake, not you too. Blah, blah, conspiracy, blah, blah, giant dog. Graham was the perfect husband until he started getting crazy ideas. Why couldn't he just have an affair like a normal person?
Any idea where I could find Leet?
Probably somewhere up top, with the other degenerates. If I were you, I'd stay away.
Could Graham have had anything to do with kidnapping?
For both our sakes, I hope not.
That's all for now.
Yeah, bye.
It looked like Graham had taken Bartleby and didn't want it tracked. I had a hunch that he had taken it to Leet, but had no idea why. In Union City, even the teddy bears had screens. This one was broken. The device was now on, but with the screen broken, I'd need to find another way to get at the data. I wondered why Graham had taken a children's toy.
Hello there. I'm Mama Bear.
Hi.
Mama Bear looks after all the cuddly kitties. Are you looking for one of my children?
I'm looking for Bartleby Bilby.
Don't worry, child. Look at my tummy to find your missing friend.
Hi.
Mama Bear looks after all the cuddly kitties. Are you looking for one of my children?
I'm okay right now.
Remember, if you lose someone, you can always talk to me.
There was an empty spot marked Bartleby Bilby. Kevin Kangaroo. Carl Koala. Dave Dingo.
Excuse me, please.
For a moment, I was off balance. It felt like I was falling towards the building. But then I realized it wasn't real. Just a lifelike sculpture carved into the wall. What a relief. The picture showed an utterly unfamiliar scene from a bygone era.
Commencing refill. Water refill complete. Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence. Commencing spray. Please stand back. Order tank depleted.
The seal had been vandalized. Poor Joey. Excuse me.
Ah, Master Grundy. What joy to see Sir again after all this time. The Poet Laureate Reginald Arthur Schnipple Esquire sends his regards and/or condolences as appropriate.
How nice of you, Reginald.
Correction, sir. If one may be so bold, Mr. Schnipple is of course Sir's human neighbor. How Sir might mistake yours truly, Tarquin, for our beloved Poet Laureate is beyond imagining.
Who are you again?
Tarquin, Fidelis Mark II domestic savant, at your service.
So you're a servant?
Savant, please. I am a highly engineered personal aid.
I'm Graham Grundy.
Of course, sir.
So we've met before?
Of course, sir.
When's the last time you saw Graham? Me?
Master Grundy, one is sure one doesn't need to remind Sir that one works with Sir's neighbor.
One would need one to remind one.
Ah, does Sir mean Sir would need one to remind Sir, or one would need Sir to remind one?
One is not sure anymore. You have a real way with words.
Aha, Sir is referring to one's grammatical prowess, no?
Yes.
Sir is too kind. And yet, if only one could translate grammatical prowess into poetic inspiration.
Do you work in these apartments?
Of course, Master Grundy. Sir and I have been neighbors for 147 days and 11 hours.
What do you think about the graffiti?
As an artiste, I find any medium a valid form of expression. Of course, the vandalism does somewhat detract from the piece.
So you like the graffiti?
I said it was a valid form of expression, albeit not on a par with, say, the literary arts. But as art goes, it's not too abhorrent.
Have you heard any reports of missing children?
Why, no, Master Graham. If anyone went missing, I'm sure AI Officer Greta would find their U-chips.
What if they were from outside the city?
Well, surely AI Officer Greta would find them by their newly implanted U-chips.
Fair enough. For all his poetry, Tarquin was still a Union City droid. See you later, Tarquin.
Will I?
Huh? It's just a phrase.
Shall we schedule in another meeting?
I don't think that's necessary.
Such ambiguity. A tortured soul. Alas, I am inspired.
Someone had spilt paint on the floor. Looked like someone planned on doing some painting. The holdall was stained with paint.
Commencing refill.
With no hand scanners, I figured they were intended for droids. The cleaning robot was clearly designed to carry heavy water tanks.
Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence. Commencing spray. Please stand back.
Excuse me, please.
Hello, Chipworth.
Hello, Master Graham.
Songbird doesn't seem too upset about her husband.
And why would she be? The glorious Master Graham has returned to us.
Sounds like my wife didn't miss me all that much.
I'm confident Madame Songbird's affection was simply kept hidden, on the inside.
Do I know someone called Leet?
I can neither confirm nor deny that, sir.
Why's that?
When Sir was shorter and stouter, it was made very clear that I was not to discuss such information with anyone, not even Sir himself.
Okay. Do you know if I know someone called Leet?
Excellent loophole, sir. Yes, I do know with absolute certainty whether Sir knows someone called Leet.
That's good enough for me. Do you know someone called Leet?
He was never my acquaintance, sir.
I'd like to hear more about Songbird.
May I suggest that Sir speaks with the lady directly? Or perhaps check her social media presence. That's how Madam has traditionally spoken to you.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you do the laundry, Chipworth?
Excellent idea, sir. I'll have your coat cleaned in no time.
On second thought, my coat's fine.
As Sir wishes.
Have a super day, Chipworth.
Serving you, sir. Every day is super.
Jasmine. Excuse me, Songbird?
Hey, stranger.
Did Leet believe in Graham's conspiracies?
Believe? Pretty sure he's where Graham got him from. Bad influence all round.
Graham was a conspiracy theorist?
Always was. But before he went missing, he really changed. He became secretive. Used to close the terminal whenever I came into the room.
That's not that strange.
And he started spending a lot of time in the bathroom. And then he just disappeared.
Okay, that's the weird bit. What were you saying about kudos?
Were you born yesterday?
Let's just say I'm new here.
Okay, newbie. Here's how it works in Union City. Be a good example, stay happy, and you get kudos.
Which you spend?
Well, kinda, but not really. The higher your kudos level, the lower you are in the city. Simple.
So kudos is bad?
Aren't you listening? Lower. Lower is better.
So you need a higher kudos to get lower?
Of course.
That industrial pit up there hovers over me like a storm cloud.
And this middle level is simply beneath me.
I think I understand what you mean.
But the lower level, now they are my kind of people. They've got standards that you don't see enough of round here.
What does Bartley Bilby look like?
Bartleby is a bilby. Adorable, long ears. Like a bandicoot and a rabbit all rolled into one. At least he was, before he went missing.
What's with the Alonso guy?
Guy? I believe you're referring to Mentor Alonso from the Ministry of Well-Being. He's a high-ranking official. And we've just lied straight to his face.
Quite the team, huh?
If he knew what's really going on, I dread to think how far my kudos would plummet.
And what about me?
Arrested, deported, I don't know, not important.
Is Alonso coming back here?
For both our sakes, I hope not. But I'm not risking it, so don't even think about doing anything stupid.
Nothing stupid? For how long?
Very amusing.
until my kudos is back on track, obviously. But for now, you are Graham.
Looks like Graham was quite the photographer.
Oh, he was dreadful. At first I thought he was an artist. Then I found out he used those ridiculous antique cameras. It took hours to see the finished photographs, and he took forever fussing with the lighting. The only good thing about his photographs is that I'm in most of them.
What do you know about the council?
They run the city. You know, like they always have since Joey left.
Can I speak to them?
Not with Graham's ID, you can't.
You work for the Ministry of Comfort?
Sure do. It might not sound prestigious, but without us, the city falls down.
You don't seem the type to settle for a cleaning job.
Cleaning supervisor, thank you very much. And you'll find in Union City, it's not what you do, it's how you do it that counts.
How so?
You know, get the job done, don't get in trouble, keep a smile on your face, the usual.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.